Hey guys, welcome back to Ironside. Hey guys, welcome back to Ironside. So right now, across the country, we're seeing banks collapsing. We're seeing a lot of potential issues that are slightly reminiscent of 2006, 2008 timeframe. So what does this mean? Where are we going? And what should we be doing? What are the next kind of steps that we want to be taking in our lives to prepare us for this? Let's talk about it. Okay, so first off, let me say, please like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, guys. Subscribing is a really easy way to kind of give back. We post a lot of information on here. Some of it is kind of, news information. Some of it we like to, I really like doing the gun stuff. That's my favorite. So that's more what I would like to do in the future. But, you got to go where the people want you, right? So what the algorithm says that people are listening to, that's kind of where we take the direction of videos. So what do we need to be doing right now as we see banks collapse? Now, we did see some bailouts come from the government, right? So our current dictator-in-chief has allocated some funds, and obviously they have taken all the credit for the great job that their cabinet has done by bailing everybody out. So this is obviously kind of taking us back and giving us all some shell shock of 2006 to 2008 timeframe and exactly what happened back there. But the bigger issue that we're seeing is, what are the next steps that we can take? And so people really don't know what to do right now. Should I, take my money out of the bank? Do I leave some money in the bank? There's a number of things that we can do, and there's a number of things that we can prepare for as things start tightening down on us. And what do I mean by tightening down? That as these banks continue to have issues, the current stress level of our nation will continue to go up. And as that stress level increases, so too will our crime. And we need to make sure that we're setting ourselves up in the best position possible to try to alleviate some of those symptoms. So we're going to talk briefly about what to do with your money, and we're going to talk briefly about what to do with your home and your personal security. So the first step is your cash. And by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm going to tell you specifically what we have done with some of ours. Okay. You have, what we did with ours is actually we pulled all of our money, and we did this about a year ago or so. We pulled all of our money out of our investments and, took it basically all of it out of stocks. And then we slowly reinvested about 25% of that money into various stocks that we think will actually perform well regardless of what happens. So things like lithium mines, because electric vehicles are not going anywhere. Things like, let's just say like Amazon, right? Amazon's kind of a forward-looking company. We did put money in Amazon because I think Amazon is actually a company that will weather the storm of a recession. And even though there's, a retail place, and retail places tend to take a hit, I think they'll probably end up going down. But at the same time, I know that the analysts all felt like it was actually a good deal at the time we bought it. So, and we've made actually quite a bit of money on it. So I will tell you that I think that there's certain companies that are worth investing in based on principle, that I believe this industry and this company is well managed and will continue to do well. We look back at the Great Depression, Kellogg and Post cereal, right? Post cereal was not managed well and they went down, and Kellogg, we still see them today, right? We see Kellogg as a name brand in most households. And it's simply because of the way that they ran their business during that time frame, not that they weren't hurting. And so that's really what we look at. We look at businesses that we think will weather the storm of what's coming. So we put about 25% of our money back in things that we believe in. So railroads and mining operations, it's precious metals mining, etc., stuff like that. The other 75% of our investment portfolio, we actually moved to a money market account that's making about 5%. So not substantial, that's not money to get rich on, but it basically gives us the ability to kind of weather the storm. And as interest rates continue to go up, that money market account continues to go up. So it's actually playing into that a little bit. So if they continue to raise it, we kind of win. If they drop it and we can reinvest back into the market, we're setting ourselves up very well for success. Did we get out at the absolute bottom or top or whatever, or did we sell at the top and come in at the bottom? No, we dollar cost average for most of our investing, and then we sold not right at the top. We actually debated about it and we didn't, and so I really regret it, because we could have sold we would have made so much more money. We could have sold right at the peak of everything. Anyway, so we sold kind of on that crest coming back down. So we still made a substantial amount on our investments, but we did not make at the exact top, and it's very difficult to time that, guys. So anyways, that's what we've done with our investment. Now, our straight cash, things like savings accounts, emergency funds, that sort of thing, we have a number of different options there. We tend to invest a lot of our savings account in material items that have the ability to either A, make us money, or B, save us money. And what I mean by that is we store savings account money in hay, right? So if I have $2,000 worth of hay, to me, that's $2,000 of cash right there, because I'm going to have to buy it one way or the other. And it's not going down with inflation, right? So that to me is a hedge against inflation, things that I need here on the farm, things like food, right? You want to beat the stock market, buy food. And so I think that you can store your savings account in multiple different assets, right? So asset classes, hay if you're running a farm, feed if you're running a farm, your own personal food, things like that we absolutely need. If you're not stocking up on propane and keeping your propane tank topped off, you should be keeping your diesel tanks for if you're running a farm, diesel generator, stuff like that can actually store that value for something that we need on those rainy days. Let me put it this way, guys. It'd be an interesting concept. And I realize propane is expensive, and this is not the cheapest way to do it. But if I stored, let's say I stored, I don't know, 2,000 gallons of propane, and I had a propane generator to run part of my house, right? We wouldn't obviously want to run the whole house on it. And we started having issues to where electric bills were going up 4x, 5x, like we saw in Europe and in the UK. We would have the ability to offset that until things either settled or give us a chance to respond by installing solar panels or something along those lines. Because 2,000 gallons, I realize it's not going to run it a long time, but you got to realize a lot of farms that are way out in the middle of nowhere still run off of propane generators. And so there's a lot of options there to be able to do something like that. And if you're living in a subdivision, you probably can't store 2,000 gallons, but you certainly could have a 500-gallon tank to get you through a little turbulence there. So something to keep in mind is storing your wealth in other assets that are a safe haven, right? Propane's probably not going down in any arguable way, right? It might go down a little bit, but it's not gonna substantially change. God, I'm sorry about the chickens; they're going crazy this morning. We got like 3 roosters now. We gotta have some butchering done. So, anyways. The other things that you can store wealth in is wood, firewood, right? So those are great ways of storing some money. What we have done is we've done a number of those things around that we can store our wealth in for things that we need and things that we will use. We have stored some of it in straight cash in various banks. So if you have 5 different bank accounts and 2 of those banks closed, then you've only lost 40% of your wealth as opposed to 100% of your wealth if one of your banks closed. So we do store our deposit cash, our ready cash, our emergency cash in multiple banks, and we have businesses. So each one of those businesses has a different bank. So we have some diversity there. Obviously, we have straight cash and cash that is not in the bank, as we've been proponents of that. But you got to be careful about how much you have, because it's not going to be covered under a fire. It's not going to be covered if you have a break-in or a theft. And so we don't store any more than we could lose. I'm not keeping $100,000 of cash tucked in away in a mattress somewhere, and I don't keep it even with our other precious items, right? So I don't have like a big gun safe in my living room that has a bunch of cash in it. That would be kind of stupid. We have everything spread about, hidden, and secured to where it would be very difficult for somebody to break in and steal it. I'll give you an idea, and it's not one that we do, so I'm gonna share it. But you see those little safes that are this big. Those are great places to store precious metals and cash. And one of the great places that I've seen to actually store those is like up over a garage in the rafters, and you actually bolt it to the rafter and then put the insulation back over the top of it, because you don't need in there very often. So it's not that big a deal, and it's a great way to store something. So again, I can't do that now because I've set it online, but certainly have other creative options on where we can hide things that make it very difficult to find. So those are some ways of storing your money, guys. And like I said, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you what we do, and you do what you want to do. But this is what we have done with our net worth. Okay. All right. So moving on to security. I know this is going to be a little bit longer video. You know what? Actually, let's do this. Let's break this up into 2 videos, and so I'll do security. So we'll do part 1, part 2. So let's go ahead and break this now so y'all can get in here, and we'll link part 2. We'll drop them both on the same day so that way you have the option. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure and like and subscribe to the channel.